Hello everyone, Billy back here with Broship of the Nerds, and today I am here to review Pretty Little Liars Season 2, Episode 5, Friday the 13th. Now this episode, our five girls had just discovered, minus Farron because she had the death trap to combat. So the four other girls went and discovered Rose Waters last episode and discovered that Dr. Sullivan was her doctor. And they tell Farron this, and Farron's like, whoa. So Tabby and Imogen break into Dr. Sullivan's office and discover that there was a recording device, and she was illegally recording the five girls without their consent, which is a crime in the state of Pennsylvania, according to this. And she was going to be writing a book to help other youth survivors, but it was still wrong what she did, so I understand why they don't trust her. But at the same time, I do not suspect her as Bloody Rose Waters. She was a good red herring in the original Pretty Little Liars, and I think that's all she is here. And I will also say that I am wrong when I am wrong. Jennifer is not Bloody Rose, obviously. If you watch this episode, I had her on my suspect list because she just has this look that she could be a villain. I don't know why, but when I see her, I'm like, ooh, they could put her in a creepy outfit and could turn her into a villain. She is a love interest of Noah, as is Sean, and we found out that those two hooked up, and Sean's mom found out about Sean giving money to Noah, and there's a whole triangle going on there. But when Noah and Jennifer get together, it can be both good and bad because it does get toxic at times with the two of them being together. It's like they bring out sort of the worst in each other at times. So I don't really love the relationship. I also don't hate it. It's just sort of like they're going to have to be more honest with each other. And I really like Sean, and I really liked him even more this episode. The fact that he stood up to his mother, but then it's going to be so hard to watch whenever he finds out that Noah has been sleeping with Jennifer, and there was an ultimatum put up by Bloody Rose that she needed to ditch one of her lovers and face one of her challenges alone. So she tells Jennifer to get the hell out, and then her challenge, which we'll get to in a bit. In the meantime, Tabby had made a new short, and Christian and her are talking about things whenever Wes walks in and says, "Hey, why was this in the popcorn machine? It was like a fake hand." And she explained that she recorded a short film for Pift, and he was pissed. And then he came back with, "Well, the only reason why they selected you is because they've been criticized about not having diversity." She's like, "What? You think they wanted me to do a short because I'm black?" So he gets pissed and tells Christian and Tabby they can do the Friday the 13th marathon on their own, and they do, and they end up, because the air conditioner's not working and they have to use fans, they send everyone to a camp that's been abandoned, Camp Millwood. But the thing is that, like I said, I was hoping for a redemption arc with Wes, but they're not really doing a whole lot to get me to root for him or to like him. He was a jerk in this episode, and I think Tabby and him both went after each other's weak points, which I didn't like. But I really am hoping that they give Wes some sort of redemption arc because so far he's done nothing to make me really care for him or like him. And then you also have Imogen finds out from her dad Sawyer that he is not only dating somebody, he's engaged to a Rebecca, and they meet with Johnny, who was invited by Imogen, and Imogen's pissed when she finds out that the ring that he put on her mother is now on Rebecca, and she says, "Hey, that was mom's ring." And then, he comes back with, "No, it was actually my mother's ring and has been in the family for a long time." And Rebecca is like, "Look, it wasn't hers, your mom's." And so Imogen threatens to cut off her finger with a knife. So yes, she goes too far, but I don't like the way Sawyer or Rebecca are. I mean, Sawyer's one of my favorite parents, but besides Miss Hayworth. But yeah, this just wasn't very good. Imogen definitely is still going through some things, and grief will do that to you. And I don't think her dad was as understanding as he should have been, and maybe should have been more upfront about this relationship. I know he said he didn't want to put it on her, but I think it would have been great if they would have met earlier before they were engaged, because now I really don't like Rebecca. And Tabby and Henry, or not Tabby, Farron, there's so much of it. Farron and Henry are going through some things. They're having challenges. So Henry invites Farron to come to the youth group. And Kelly confesses that Tabby helped her in a dark time and she's grateful. Greg confesses that he's been an a hole. And I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the episode, Farron's cut she took was fixed by the girls, and she arm wrestles Greg, but it re-injures her, reopens her stitches. And Greg admits that he's been hard on Farron, so I kind of like that Greg's coming around. And then Henry apologizes to Farron publicly at the church. I'm like, okay, it's going in a good direction. And then all of a sudden, Greg and Farron are talking, and Farron's like, you've evolved. And I'm starting to like Greg, but then he does say that he's not in with the inner circle, so he's just there for the snacks, and he's not really sure what goes on. And then Farron finds out this is more like a cult with the way this group's having like this weird sort of session where they're doing these weird chants and stuff. So I definitely am very leery of this cult, as Riverdale taught us. These cults can be very bad, like with Edgar, and so I'm and Evelyn Evernever. So I'm wondering what's going on with them. I don't trust this group at all, and I think they could be part of the Bloody Rose thing. I don't know yet, but that's kind of like my latest theory. And once again, I could be wrong, but I just don't trust them. Mouse's grandma sees a video where these people cut their foreheads in the name of Bloody Rose for what's coming. And once again, I do think there could be more than one Bloody Rose. But Mouse has always had weird storylines and interesting things because she is a different sort of character. And I'm very worried about Lola. Something's off with her mentally. And I'm not quite sure what's going on with her, but she definitely needs some more help. So the girls find out they can't trust Dr. Sullivan. No, Henry Farron breaks up with Henry after she sees this like weird thing happening with this group. So they break up. They're all going to the Friday the 13th marathon, which in the meantime, Noah has this thing with Jennifer that, like I said, is toxic. She has a great boyfriend in Sean who confesses that he's going to move in with Noah because he basically told off his mom because it was his money, and then he moves in with her. So Noah kicks Jennifer out and then encounters her death trap, which is walking. It just says take your shoes off. Why she took her socks off, I don't know, but she took off her shoes and socks, walked on these rose petals and the rose thorns barefooted, and then Bloody Rose lets a dog loose, and the dog chases her until we see Noah find a car with the pizza sign, and it ends up being Jennifer who lets her in. So I'm assuming episode 6 is going to start off with Noah and Jennifer, or at least they're going to have a conversation about things, maybe patch up things, or maybe Noah finally confesses to her and Sean what's going on with everything and where she's at. But so far, the only two that have not encountered Death Trap are Tabby and Imogen. And my theory is that episode 6 is going to be probably Tabby, 7 Imogen, and then 8 the whole group of girls with a final encounter with Bloody Rose. That's where I think this is headed. But yeah, Friday the 13th, season 2, episode 5, or the 15th episode of the series thus far, was incredible. It's a must watch. A lot happened, a lot of storylines were progressed. So here's where I stand with the relationships right now. Tabby, or not Tabby, Imogen and Johnny, I'm still on the fence about. Johnny seems pretty nice, but Imogen's going through a lot, so I don't know how that's going to affect the relationship. Tabby and Christian, I really like together. Noah and Sean, I love together, but I have a hard time with Noah and Jennifer because it seems like at times they bring out the worst in each other. So something's got to give here. She's either got to choose Sean finally or Jennifer, but I think Sean is definitely the better option because he does seem like a lot more nice, unless they accept that she's just going to have two partners in the future, which I could see it going that way maybe if Sean's cool with that. We'll see, but Noah needs to figure it out. Farron and Henry are done, and I think that is actually for the best, as we do not know what's going on with this weird church group slash possible cult. And then Mouse and Ash, I really like together. I think they're good for each other, and I hope they continue to succeed. I'm curious to see how this season's going to end, and I'm hoping we do get a season three. If not, though, this has been a great season as well, just because now that we know the characters, we've been able to get more into their stories, more into the relationships. So, yeah, that all took place. Go on Max and watch Pretty Little Liars Original Sin if you've not seen any episodes, and then watch Summer School. Leave a comment. Let me know what did you think of this episode? Who are your favorite relationships? Who are your favorite characters this season? I still got to go with Noah being my favorite character this season, but she really needs to get it together. All right, guys, that's all I have for this week. Next week, we will go to episode 6. Take care.